Hi, welcome to Caribou Country Lifestyle. My name is Cheryl, and I have been out here picking elderberries off of this elderberry bush, and I've picked quite a few branches of elderberries. I lost, I don't know if I lost half, but I'd probably say I lost about a third of my elderberries with birds, and that's my fault because we have been away so much through August. We were gone the last half of August, and we've been gone every second week in September, and now we're at the end of September. So I'm just gonna bring you in to take a closer look at some of the elderberries that I have left on some of these branches that just need a little bit more time for ripening. And also I had a little bit of an infestation with some aphids, and it only seemed to be on the ones on this side of the elderberry plant. Nothing on this side had any aphids on it at all. Is one of the branches, and if we go in closer, it has aphids all down that stem. It's just covered in aphids. And so these are the elderberries, and you're supposed to pick them when they're dark blue black color. And I have another one over here. The only reason I didn't pick these because they had so many aphids on them. I'm gonna end up squishing the aphids and then bringing them in the house, and then I have another one here, but this was just loaded. Now I have another elderberry bush. This one's quite a bit lower. So these ones that are down here, they're still kind of like a pinky purpley color. So I'm gonna wait for those to get a little bit darker. And I probably have about 6 clusters. There's another one in there. Another little one down here. There's a little cluster. And then over here I have, it's a wild rose bush, and it has rose hips on it. And I'm just gonna try and bring this up without poking myself. So here we have some rose hips growing here, and these I'm going to be picking those off as well. Like this was here when we moved on to our property here. So I don't know how long this has been here, but once they're red like this, then you can pick those off, and I will dehydrate them as well. Now I used to buy rose hip, dehydrated dried rose hips and dried elderberries, and I would make an elderberry syrup. Now I have this right at my fingertips. I can just pick these and dehydrate them. It's getting kind of dark out now. You probably don't notice it with the light from the camera, but it is getting kind of dark now. We're at the end of September, and it's getting dark here shortly after 7 in the evening now, and we only have about an hour left of daylight. So we're gonna go inside. So this pile here of these branches, this is where I've already plucked off elderberries. They come off fairly quick. So I'm just gonna show you like that. That's a nice little cluster of elderberries. And they come off fairly easy. My fingers are almost black. I just have been sliding them right off of the branches, and I'm putting them into this colander. And then once I get them all cleaned off the branches, then I'm going to wash these elderberries, and then I'm going to spread them out onto a towel to let them dry just a little bit, and then I'll be putting them into my dehydrator. Checked out Mr. Google Pants, and it has here to dehydrate. Once you get them onto the trays, you dehydrate them at 135 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 to 12 hours, or until completely dry and brittle. And then you can store them in an airtight container in a cool, dark place to prevent mold and maintain freshness for at least a year. So when I was getting them off of Amazon, and I was buying dehydrated elderberries, and I was buying dehydrated and crushed, like they would crush up the rose hips, and I would buy that to make the elderberry syrup. And elderberry syrup is a wonderful thing to have in the winter time. And I will make up a batch, and I probably get about 3 or 4, well, small, medium-sized bottles, and they will store in the fridge for up to 6 months. And you can take a tablespoon of the elderberry syrup as often as you like, because there's nothing in there that is going to harm you. I have taken elderberry syrup for up to like 3, 4, 5 times a day. There really is no limit as to how much you can have or how little you can have. And everything in it is, you got your rose hips, you got your elderberries, there's cinnamon, cloves, fresh ginger in it too. And then you have honey as well. And there's some other ingredients in there that I'm sure I have missed. But I'll just show you so far what I've gotten. Oh, it's a little piece that doesn't belong in there. So this is what I've got so far. It's not a very big colander, kind of small-ish. And I mean, I think if memory serves me correct, you only need 3/4 of a cup of dried elderberries per recipe for the elderberry syrup. And I will definitely bring you along when I make this elderberry syrup. I like to make it and have it from our family ourselves, but I also give it away as gifts. It's a great Christmas gift to be giving away. And now that I actually have this product here at my fingertips, I can make as much of it or as little of it as I want. And once I dehydrate it, like it said, it will keep for up to a year. So I have a year to use this up. So I'm just going to finish taking off the rest of these elderberries. This was quite a branch that I have there. That's probably my biggest branch filled with elderberries. So once I remove the elderberries off of this one, then I'll be washing them up and putting it into my dehydrator, and I'll show you what that looks like when we get to that part of it. Okay, so I put them on a cookie sheet with one of these cotton towels on it, and I'm just kind of going through and picking little stems out that might be still attached to the elderberries, which I've found a couple. I even found a little wiggly worm in here as well. So I just, I move them around and then I end up finding another that I need a little stem that needs to be picked out. There's one there. No, I can't see it. Huh. You see it and then you try to grab it and you can't get a good enough hold on it, and then you lose it. Oh, here's one that had, where's the stem? Oh, there it is. Okay. Anyways, I've got my dehydrator upstairs here, and I'm just going to fill up as many trays as I can. I think if I just shake them, not quite that wildly, because I've just shook it right off of the tray. pick those back up and put them back on. And this is just a mesh little insert on my dehydrator, and I'll just roll these. There's a stem. I see it now. I might be able to see more this way because I see another one. So I'm just gonna gently roll these out onto the tray, and once I fill it up, then I'll bring out another tray, fill it up, and we'll kind of go from there. So I have 3 trays of elderberries, and I have one up here too. It definitely was a lot easier to pick out the stems. We'll load these trays. I'm just trying to spread them out. Oh, there's another little stem. Definitely easier to see the stems in a single layer. They remind me of peppercorns that you would fill into a grinder. That's what they remind me of. So I'm going to load this up into the dehydrator. And this is one of those Excalibur dehydrators. It's a 9 tray Excalibur dehydrator. Definitely do not need 9 trays for this. I tried to spread them out fairly well so that they would have a pretty good chance of drying up fairly well. So then I have my temperature is, I'm going to lower this one down a little bit. I have my temperature set at 135 degrees Fahrenheit. And so I'm going to go right in the middle, and I'm going to set it for 10 hours. I just need to put my cover on. So we're going to go 10 hours. I mean, I've had that elderberry bush, both of those, for 4 years now. The problem that we had, and this is the first year I've gotten elderberries off of them. The problem we had is when I first put them out into the berry side of the gardens, that I didn't mark them, and my husband was out there with the whippersnipper. He ended up snipping it off. So then it started all over the next year. So it had a bit of a late start, got kind of beaten up a bit, but I'm really happy with the elderberries, and I think this is awesome that I'm actually getting something from them. And I will pick the rest of those elderberries off of the elderberry plants that I left to let them ripen a little bit longer, and then I'll be picking those rose hips that I showed you as well. And I will dehydrate both of them together. I'll actually have to look and see what I have to do as far as temperature and how long I need to dehydrate rose hips for, because I've never done that before either. And like I say, I'll just check out Mr. Google Pants and see what he has to say. So I just want to thank you for joining me. Just a quick little video about what we have going on. A little late getting out there and getting those elderberries picked. So gonna have to be a little bit more diligent about getting out there and getting them picked sooner. But then again, I did have some that were not fully ripe. So just gonna have to be better at getting them picked and not letting the birds benefit from my elderberry plants, the berries off of it. So thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.